bumper to bumper, we love them old cars.
Welcome to Melbourne MotorX 2014. We're the Maguire's MotorX girls, and you're watching Bumper to Bumper.
All right, Peter, g'day and welcome to Bumper to Bumper. How you going?
Thanks very much. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Yeah.
Now, we're here at Motor Sex. Even I'm mucking up.
Yeah, sexy cars here.
Well, very. And your 1934 Ford is a beauty.
Thank you very much. That's my toy that I've just finished. I call that's my daily driver.
Yeah?
Not my daily driver, my weekend driver. That's my little toy that I just have a bit of fun with.
So you have a little bit of fun with it, but it's good enough to have so much fun that you're taking it to one of the top car shows in Australia.
Yeah, well, I unveiled it last year at MotorX,
Yep.
and I actually took my FC up there as well because they wanted it back there because Chip Foose was there.
Yep.
So we took it along to MotorX to unveil it because that's just the right thing to do.
Yep.
And because it's all painted in House of Colour paint. And we qualified for Showcase Superstars, and they basically said, oh, you should try and keep it pristine and don't drive it too much because we want you to bring it to Melbourne. And I said, well, that's fine, but it's still been driven a fair bit. So because, like I said, I don't want two cars sitting in the shed, so this is my toy.
Well, good, and glad that you're driving it too. Now, tell us a little bit about the actual car and how long it take you to build.
There's a bit of a story behind the car. It's called a Burnin' 34 because it's actually been burnt.
All right.
We unveiled it with my FC at MotorX 10 in Sydney.
Yep.
I helped a friend of mine build a car, and he unfortunately it caught fire.
How did it catch fire?
Well, the owner didn't do something that I told him to do, and I said to him, mate, you shouldn't have that fuel rail there, and you shouldn't have that fuel block on the rail.
All right.
I said because it may leak fuel, and unfortunately it was next to the distributor.
Yep.
And he didn't fix it in time, and he was driving it, and actually it caught fire. So,
you're kidding. How bad?
Well, it sort of totaled the car. We put a whole new front in it because it burnt the firewall out. There's actually a photo of it over the other side of the car there.
Yep.
Because it was a top-end car, so it qualified for MotorX, and it was unveiled there. But it was a completely different car to it is now.
Yeah.
It was silver, and it had all the billet stuff on it. And,
Yep.
And Gary said that he didn't want to repair it, so I said I'd buy it off him and repair it and turn it into something different.
It must take a lot of skill, expertise to actually, not only just to build a car, but to actually restore a car that's been burnt.
Yeah, well, it stunk for a long time because
Not you.
No, the fiberglass tends to stink a little bit. But we put a whole new front in it. You cut it off, and when these cars are made, they're sort of made out of 4 or 5 pieces.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of cutting it apart and putting those pieces back in it and getting it square again and a bit of fiberglass work. Yeah.
Well, you make it sound so easily.
Yeah, well, it is.
You got so, mate.
Yeah, well, you got the right people around to help you, and it's all good. So then I put a wind-out windscreen and stuff in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because fiberglass cars don't usually have them.
Yeah.
So while it was pulled apart, I welded a few more brackets in it, because it was burnt anyway, so it didn't matter. And
why not?
Put a wind-out windscreen in and just changed it a bit to. I sort of wanted it. I call it new old school.
Yeah. And you must be pretty happy with the finish of it.
No, the finish is exceptional. You know, I get my cars painted by Trevor Davis. He's down here in Melbourne at Dandenong. He just does an exceptional job with a spray gun.
Yeah.
And it turned out really good. And for a black car, I said if I had a hot rod, I wanted it to be a black one.
Yep.
And it's sort of appropriate to be calling it a Burnin', and people go, Burnin', and
that's a top name actually.
And well, it had to be called that. So because and people say why that, and I said because it's actually been burnt. So.
Yeah. Now, what's it running? Because you haven't told us what's it running.
Well, it's running actually a 454 Motown small block.
Wow.
So you can get 454 cubes out of a small block. You can just jam them big pistons in there.
Yeah.
It's got a 2-speed race glide in it, true track diff, billet axles. So it's it gets up in boogies. It's got over 350 horsepower at the tyres, so it's a good little car.
And it must be grouse to feel sitting behind it, cruising, and on the weekends and just driving it.
It is. It's just it is a pleasure to drive, and it drives really well. And like I said, it's my first hot rod that I've built.
Yep.
And it drives really nice. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
All right. I want to say thank you very much for being on Bumper to Bumper. Enjoy your weekend here at MotorX.
Yeah, I hope the show goes well for you, and everyone should come to MotorX because it's a great place to come.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Richard, g'day and welcome to Bumper to Bumper. How you going?
Well, thanks, Rusty. Yourself?
Very good, thank you, mate. Now, we're here at MotorX today, not at the Holden headquarters. but you're displaying 3 cars here today. First of all, tell us about the 3 cars you're displaying.
Okay, well, we've got the old favourite EFIJY on display. We have the Hurricane here, and behind us is the Coupe 60.
14. We're the Maguire's Motor X girls, and you're watching Bumper to Bumper.
Bumper to bumper, we love them old cars.